We recording?
Two, yes. Fired up. Fired up. Fired up. Initiating launch sequence. And
It is 1:45 p.m. Sunday, April 24th,
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to episode 77 of the Fuckin podcast. I'm your host, Big Boss Jamaica, and I'm joined by the parish pirate himself, Chet Hanks. What's going on, bro?
Oh, yeah, should I say it's you who's supposed to be coming back from the island?
No, that's why that's why I flipped it on you. You're the island boy now.
So yeah, it's a couple of island boys here for another episode. Yeah,
Hot back from Jamaica, man.
You
back
are
in Canada.
You are, Matthew. Thank you for coming back. You're positively glowing. You know that you are. Yeah. I mean, you're sick as a dog, but you're
COVID
also
positive glowing. There you go.
Positively glowing. Still, it's tough to be back, man. It feels weird. It's like you take a couple weeks off, you almost forget how to do it. You know?
No kidding, man. No fucking kidding. But feels good. Feels good to talk to you again, bro. I missed you. I missed you too. I'm glad you made it back safe. And we want to thank, thanks to everybody who's to all, a handful of you who show up to listen every week or every few weeks or whenever you're catching up on the catalog later on for this. This is fucking all games, no practice. It's our, last time we were saying we were gonna re-angle ourselves for people, right? So I want to welcome our listeners. 77 episodes. There's got to be some sort of numerology there for one. But this is our conversational, navigational, psycho spiritual Guidecast. You sound like a guy that has "So It Goes" tattooed on your arm, bro.
And in fact, I do. You're never gonna win. Like I think you're just jealous that now the score on the tattoo scoreboard is now 2-zip for me. I mean, you're still putting a goose egg up in the category there.
I'm pure blood.
I want our listeners to know that Matt in college used to never shut up about how he was going to have, I'm going to get like a full sleeve, bro. Like not full sleeve, but like 3/4 sleeve. I want to pass the elbow, but like not all the way down. I still want to, like.
Damn, you got a good memory too. This guy's got me down to it. This guy's got me down to
30 years old. He's got nada. He's a virgin. You're a needle virgin.
I'm too cheap.
You're too cheap. You just got back from a tropical island all-inclusive vacation. I'm cheap.
Hilarious.
We call you. Where I come from, we call you a bitch.
I'm a fucking needle bitch. Yeah, I guess so. Got no ink.
Welcome back. You got a nice glow going on there.
Thanks, man. It's good to be back.
Tales from the island,
bro. I had such a good fucking time. The weather was good. You know what I'm saying? It refreshed me. I had a great time with my girl, but I gotta say this.
Okay.
Old tourists are probably the most crotchety people on the planet, bro. Like old dude. We ran into some obviously some nice ones too, but there was some fucking hilarious shit, bro. Like I get to the pool, right? And I'm swimming in and I got long hair. You know me. Like I got fucking
long hair, don't care.
Dog, I get out the water and my hair's wet, right? So I go to tie it up and I lock eyes with this old man across the pool. And he's like straight up Clint Eastwood guy laid back, just looking at me. And I go to tie my hair up in a bun. And bro, I could see this man grimace. It was like, it's just the disrespect of you fucking pussy.
You grew up in the crew cut military generation of
exactly. It was one of those dudes, right? I audibly laughed. I was like,
an Abe Simpson yelling at Joe Namath on the TV kind of thing.
Yeah, I said to Haley, I'm like, yo, did you see that? And she started dying. It was so good, man.
Did you do a James Bond girl out of the water kind of emergence? Did you do
the hair flip?
Slow motion? Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe when you flipped your hair, you caught him with you got a little water, a little wing on him, and he was like,
little water spray. Damn.
Yeah,
Bam. Fuck you, bitch. No, but there's just a couple other things too. So we go down and there was these beds on the beaches or whatever, right? And people put their towels down to fucking claim it or whatever, right? So we're on one and then we start leaving. The second we move to leave, this old lady is running down the path, bro, and straight up falls while she's trying to run past us because she's going so quick. We're like, oh, excuse me. And all right, kind of thing. And she's like, oh, and shuffles past to get the bed that we left. So Haley and I start fucking dying laughing. I'm like actually laughing. She's like, you saw that, right? The lady literally almost fucking fell and ate shit trying to get that bed. So we're laughing, whatever. It's no big deal. So we're coming back though. I don't know, maybe 15 minutes later, I'm coming back through the bar.
And this woman's standing off to the side of the bed, like just standing there talking to her husband or something. And and I have sunglasses on, right?
Yeah.
So I can see her look at me, and like she immediately dives on the bed, like dives on the fucking bed, bro. Like, oh, and like spreads across it.
How do you spend that much money and fly to a beautiful country and like chill out on a resort just to be that stressed about like beach beds and shit?
Yo, it gets better. So she spreads on it, right? And I laugh. I'm like, what the fuck? Because I see it from a distance. And we walk by. I'm like, Haley, like, don't look yet. I'm gonna tell you to look at something in a second. And as we right past, I'm like, okay, look at the old lady. I'm like, is she on the bed? She goes, no, she got off. So obviously, as she didn't even want to lay on it, she just saw me coming, and I was in her head and was like, this is mine. Don't take it from me. And like,
yeah, I would have been fucking with that woman. Like, just literally every time I walk by, just like make like a jump. Like,
yeah, I didn't see her again. I wish, man. We joked about it for the rest of the trip, bro. I was in the pool. I'm like, if I see her, I'm fucking suplexing her in here. Like, I'm grabbing her.
Give her an RKO.
I'm just gonna RKO her right in the fucking pool.
There is sort of like a subset though of like older people who go vacationing who like are just, yeah, like don't seem to be enjoying this at all. Like, you got to check your stress at the airport. Everything. You know?
There was a couple couples. They were cool as fuck though. I feel like that happens on every trip. Like you see some people that you're like, these guys know what's up. They've been married for like fucking 60 years. They're cool as shit.
It's like just modern society, right? Like just some people are okay, but most people are tough to deal with. Except anyone who's listening to this podcast, in which case you are all highly bearable and you know, big dose people is what you are.
Big dose. Yeah.
Big
no
dose.
more microdosers.
No microdose. We're not microdosing our listeners. Not remotely. Speaking of raw injections of humanity, in a single week, I've managed to watch all of All Gas No Breaks and Channel 5 on
Jesus,
YouTube.
that is a drip feed.
Yeah, like I feel dumber. I have less faith in humanity than ever, probably.
Welcome aboard, dude. I crushed it a couple months ago, and it's such a fucking insight into what's actually going on out there with people, bro.
Are we like, we're not zany enough? Is that the problem? Is this podcast, do we just really need to amplify like the insanity, right? Like we need to start every show by being like, Matt, show me your butthole. Like screaming into the mic. Like,
I guess so, man. I fucking guess, you know, just goatsy everybody every episode.
It's such a like I mean, we talk about like the internet and shit, right? Like, you know, like everyone, it's social media is such like an easy target for like the ills of the world and all that. But watching that, I'm like, man, internet culture is like the most effective thing ever. Like every person this guy talks to, he goes to any event and he's just like, what's on your mind? And the person will just be like, first of all, fuck Joe Biden. Second of all, coronavirus is a hoax. It's like, I didn't ask you about that. I asked you what you're thinking. It's like, that's what's on your mind. Like,
absolutely, dude. Like he just holds a microphone out and people see him. They're like, platform, let's go. What's on the tip of my tongue, man? That's the thing about the internet too. It gives everybody a voice, right? Which I've argued you this countless times.
I don't think
everybody should have a voice. Not everybody should have a say at this table.
Including probably us. This podcast is like someone will stumble upon it someday in like 100 years and like find the audio files and be like, wow,
what a waste of time.
What a waste.
No one gives a fuck what you think, dude. Shut up.
Oh wow, that lady in Florida did that thing. That was crazy.
Surprise! Crazy. Let me guess. It happened in Florida.
Oh, Florida. Oh shit. Yeah, you know, but we're here, right? We're here. 77 episodes, man. That's a solid number. I feel like there's
surviving pandemics, bro. Being born of and surviving a pandemic.
Yeah, that's right. This podcast started in the pandemic. It will emerge into a beautiful. It'll rise like the phoenix.
I don't know Hopefully. If that's a good thing. I don't know if that's a good thing.
You know, we're working on it. You know, and our listeners are here to work on it with us. They're here to provide us with critical feedback. You know, fnehpodcast@gmail.com. Give us your critical feedback every week.
I don't think you want to hear it, bro.
No. I just want to know that there's actually someone listening. We still have never heard from people from India, even though they're still racking up numbers over there. I mean,
that's hilarious to me. That is fucking hilarious to me, dude.
Bots are for so many people. Literally, there's that many people who click on the wrong thing. Like there's 1 billion people there. So, you know, 100 people misclicking a week. Sounds about right.
The district of Kolkata is just going crazy, bro.
I really hope that's actually in India. Otherwise, might actually. Okay, good. I was going to say.
It is. I mean,
you have a world map right above your head. You should fucking know. But
okay. Yeah, but I watch scam videos on YouTube of call centers.
There you go. There you go. That's the kind of hard hitting research that we bring every single episode. Well, speaking of content, the man who attempted to assassinate President Ronald Reagan in 1981 has just reached a noteworthy achievement in his new career as a country music singer. What? He has a sold-out show in New York coming up. I mean, I know I got tickets, right? Like, I'm front row seat.
What does he sing about?
John Hinckley Jr. has apparently found enough people willing to pay $20 a pop to hear songs like "You Let the Whiskey Do the Talk." You let whiskey do your talking. Can't we get along? Tried to assassinate the president, and you and I are all free. Sounds like quality stuff.
Okay, so does this guy? So does he sing about trying to kill a president?
I don't believe he's got a song called "I Tried to Shoot Reagan," but I don't know. Maybe that's what "You Let Whiskey Do Your Talking" is about.
Because there's an angle, right? There's an angle there. That's like, do I go the fucking novelty route of I'm the president killer, or is he just a country music singer that happens to use his name?
I think he's just trying to move on, man.
He's just trying to move on. All right.
Yeah. So does he his own way?
So you gotta at some point in somewhere have some sort of tongue-in-cheek reflection about I try to shoot a fucking president. Because if you don't, you're just wasting your platform.
I'm just curious about the demos, though. You know what I mean? Like, because Reagan is like Republican God, like he's Republican Jesus. And this is country music, which is like Republican anthems, right? So you're like, how are people in that culture? There's kind of a clash to me, it feels like. Like, you tried to kill my Jesus, my trickle-down Jesus. And now you're singing songs about whiskey.
Jesus.
Now, Hinckley was found not guilty by reason of insanity in 1982. I don't know if you've heard this before, this story. He argued that he was mentally ill and obsessed with the movie Taxi Driver and actress Jodie Foster, whom he had also stalked at the time.
I just watched Taxi Driver. You trying to tell me that that's what this guy did to Reagan? He straight up was inspired by Taxi Driver?
And he was obsessed with Jodie Foster and then tried to shoot Reagan.
Jesus fucking
and now for $20 you can see him live in New York City. Also, country music in New York City? Like, okay. Fair enough.
I mean, dude, there's got to be some people that use fucking other movies as better like ploys to get off. Do some really insane shit. Yeah, really insane shit. But I was inspired. What are you gonna say? I was inspired by Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, you can't, I'm insane.
Welcome to episode 78 of the Fucking A podcast, where today we're eating people.
I was inspired by the Matrix to go to the mall and fucking start dressing in leather coats and dancing around and shooting people that look like they're wearing suits.
Look, the reason why this show is not topping the charts is because neither of us have committed any sort of heinous crimes or done anything absurd before we started it. Podcasting works like this now. Basically, if you're a person who people know, strangers who you've never met know who you are for any reason whatsoever, like you took a shit on someone's face on TikTok and became viral, like, guess what? Start a podcast because you instantly have like 50,000 listeners immediately.
100%.
Like, that guy who took a shit on that dude's face on TikTok. Oh my God, he's got a podcast. It's hilarious. Like,
dude, people still listen to that fucking guy on YouTube, the pedophile guy, EDP, the fucking Philly fan.
Oh, the Philadelphia Eagles dude who
the overweight black guy that like fucking screams and shit.
It was all all the memes and shit, right?
Yeah, he got busted like Chris Hansen style, and like people still come to his streams and shit.
Did he get arrested?
He get am I gonna get arrested?
Oh man.
Yes,
but apparently this John Hinckley guy, he posted songs online in 2020, just like us, took advantage of the pandemic to make some content and joined Spotify and Twitter last October. From the article, and just for you, none of the songs mention his attempted assassination of Ronald Reagan. So
he's got no "I Shot the Sheriff" remix, eh?
I shot the Reagan,
but I did not shoot.
Who is the VP?
See,
yeah, I was gonna say, who is the VP? I don't know American history, so
no.
I think we're fact that we're Canadian and we can even remember his wife's name. But she got other reasons. She got notoriety.
Yeah, she got the throat goat 6,000. I don't need a podcast. I need a vidcast. You know what I'm saying?
Nancy Reagan's new podcast, the Gluckcast.
How hilarious is that? That a fucking president's wife's in the news, like, 40, 50 years later for sucking.
Why is Nancy Reagan trending on Twitter? Oh, she was throating Frank Sinatra, apparently. Like, okay.
Dog, I died when I came across that. That was one of my favorite days on Twitter, just because I was so confused. I'm like, Nancy, I knew nothing about this, right?
I was like, she's been dead for years.
Nancy Reagan, like, what the fuck is she doing trending?
Yeah, like doesn't matter. There's no such thing. There's no such thing as being like beyond any sort of criticism. Like, you've been dead for years. Like, doesn't matter.
Fair game, bro.
Doesn't matter. I'll be dead for 30 years and be like, Dan once shit his pants in the park when he was like 14. Be like,
over.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Don't tell the story. Don't tell the story.
Well, I'm allowed to tell that story now.
Well, don't forget.
People don't forget.
Yeah, everybody. I feel like everybody's got a story like that somewhere deep down inside. Oh shit. That's too good. Oh man, I forgot to tell you. So when I went to fucking Jamaica, right? They had a karaoke night. And Haley and I went down just to, bro. Haley and I went down just to listen. I'm gonna say this straight up. I walked into an American Idol session, bro. Not even kidding, dude. It was the most ridiculous karaoke session I've ever fucking been.
Bad, right? You're not like.
No. I'm talking good, like real good.
What a twist.
Bro, we go in there and Haley and I are laughing. We're like, we're not fucking singing. First guy comes up and it's it's like one of the people that work there, like the entertainment team guys.
He's gonna set the bar.
He can like kind of sing a little bit, but not really, right? And he gets up there and it's like, yeah, okay. And I was like, okay, like I can't even sing that good, man. Like, but it's fine. I'll sit down. We'll see what happens. First person comes up. I'm singing John Legend. I can't remember what song.
Oh, that's
this guy. Whoa. This guy comes up, turns away from the screen, isn't looking at a single word, and rips the entire song flawlessly. This black dude, and we're all sitting there like, people are like standing up and like,
born for this.
Bro, born for this. Next lady comes up, fucking Deep South church singer, crushes some fucking Whitney Houston. I'm not kidding. Next guy comes up, young, fresh black dude, like, bro, like, guy was fresh to the nines, like 30-year-old black guy, starts singing another John Legend song. His wife gets up halfway through and starts recording as he's singing the John Legend to her. And then she comes up on the next song and sings fucking Lauryn Hill to him as he's recording them. And I'm talking, bro, the entire place was going nuts, dude. It was the most ridiculous karaoke.
When did you get up and do like some MGK or something like that?
Yeah, I'm singing Eminem Role Model. Hi there. I'm going to attempt to drown myself. You can try this at home.
Just a room full of absolutely disgusted faces.
Yeah, but like unfucking real, bro. Like Haley and I were dying. We started laughing because it was like the next person kept coming up and they were better than the last. And then this old white guy gets up and started singing some song from the 60s called like Old Mackie. And he was like, Old Mackie is my name. Like some shit like that, bro. It was like some honky tonk shit.
Was it good?
Terrible. So
okay. So somebody broke it. Somebody finally broke the streak, right?
And then it just went back to like all-star cast, bro. Like all-star cast. It was fucking. We left eventually because we were like, it was getting later, and like I was fucked up, and I was like, all right, I'm done with this shit. I'm going home. But this lady looked at me. She's like, you're gonna leave before Michelle sings, and I was like,
Obama.
Yeah. Yo, Haley's dying in the back there. Yeah, you remember that lady, Haley? She was so distraught. Like, how dare you? We were just like, nah.
Yeah,
like
who's
we're
Michelle? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it was an all-star.
Big ups to the guy who decided like
big ups to the youth dem.
Thanks, Chet. But like the dude, big ups the guy who was like, I don't give a fuck how talented these people are. I'm singing my song from like the 50s. I don't care if I'm bad. I don't care.
The whole room was dying laughing. So it was good. Good on you, bro. Good on you.
Nice.
We had a good trip here.
That's a solid get.
Now, have you been getting hit by those spam calls, bro?
I mean, spam of all kinds. I get random text messages now. Do you get these ones where they're like, people are like, hey, like, are you going to the something? And it's like, what? And it's like, it's just like a lure, right? It's a lure for you to text back and be like, yeah, like click this link. Like, no, there goes my bank account.
So I got one for the government for like, hey, we're getting money back for our fucking license plate stickers. So the government's sending letters in the mail, but I'm getting text messages that are like, hey, like, the government's sending your money back. Click here to deposit your money. And you click and it like brings up your fucking bank information. I'm like, no. But now I'm getting phone calls too again. And I just like, bro, it's never fucking endless, dude. Never fucking endless. And I came across an article. It said that Americans reportedly lost $131 million to fraud schemes initiated by techs in 2021. $131 million, a 50% increase from the year before, according to data from the FTC. And spam emails rose by 30% from 2020 to 2021, which to me doesn't even affect me because they just go into that fucking folder that I don't even look at anyway. So it's just like, if you get filtered into there
with emojis and shit in it, like, yes, because that's how they,
if you fall for that, you're an absolute clown.
It's like the old MSN Messenger font. Like,
fuck, man. But I'm so fucking tired of the phishing scam shit, bro. Like, how is this shit like, I want to say, how is it not illegal? If you say legal,
I'm going to throw a chair at you. How is it legal? It's obviously not. You just can't stop it.
So frustrating, dog. It's so
who's gonna do anything about it?
Like I get multiple calls a day from like a 1-800 number, and I'm just like, I leave that, like I'm not answering that. It goes to a voicemail. I'm like, I better check that. Okay, what's it from? There's no sound, and then it just
cuts in Mandarin. You know,
in Mandarin, halfway through a sentence, like your money. I'm like, what? Like get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, call now. Like no, nothing in life is ever. Especially our age, especially by the time you're 30 years old, if you're 30 years old and you think there's anything in the world in which someone is going to give you money for any reason whatsoever, like you're not going to, it's not how this works.
You're going to have a bad fucking time.
I was out having a beer with people, a friend of ours from college who is now very well gainfully employed and has made something of his life, unlike us. And a few of his friends, and they were talking about sports gambling because they're all throwing a couple bucks down on the games here and there. And he was like, "Oh, like like I gamble with like the free deposit. Like, you sign up, and they're like, we'll give you $200 in betting, right? Just for signing up."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And he was like, "It's crazy how much money they give you." I'm like, "Yeah, like Vegas makes like $1 billion a month, right? Like, there's a reason why they give away free money is because they're like, you people are fucking degenerates, and I'll give you $1,000 up front. You'll lose your fucking house to us, you little bitch. Like, sign up."
You little fucking bitch.
But while we're talking about it, you little bitch, you like that? Bet MGM, you little bitch. But while we're talking about it, and like him and his buddies are like, they're talking like $5 on like a parlay, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's nothing. But this dude next to us is like, catches wind and is like, "You guys like to gamble? Like, check this out." And he like pulls his phone out and he's like, "Look at all the parlays I have on this game, man. Like, like $100." And he's like, there was his girlfriend who is like, whose face is just like, this man is spiraling and I'm forever linked to him. Like, it was just, everything is a scam. Even the things that aren't scams are legal scams.
Everything's a fucking scam, bro. Okay, this links back to my time in fucking Jamaica, all right? I got undressed and embarrassed by one of the taxi employees there, bro.
Okay.
And I didn't even do anything wrong. Okay, so we're leaving the fucking hotel. All right, we're walking out the front door. And everywhere in Jamaica, if you're anywhere off the sides of the resort, if anybody comes up to you and it's like, "Yo, man," they're trying to sell you something. Always. Of course. Every time. Of course, right? Obviously.
Tourist places, yeah, always, yeah.
So we're walking out the front, and I'm like I have a plan. My girl and I are going just literally across the street to the shopping, like gift store area, right? And as we're walking out the front door, the taxi guys at the building are like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Hey, I'm all good, man. Thank you." Like, I wasn't rude or anything. I was like, "Thanks, I'm good." He says like, "Yo, man, come here." I'm like, "I'm okay. Like, thank you." And he goes, "Hey, man, come here. I'm talking to you." And I'm like, "Okay, dude, like, what's up?" Yeah. And he starts going off. He's like, "Listen, man, like, I'm not trying to sell you something. I work for the Ryu Hotel, blah, 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 blah. I'm the taxi guy. We have a free complimentary shuttle that goes across are you going to the gift shop?" I was like, yeah, I am actually. "Oh, okay. Sorry, man." I'm like, everybody's trying to sell me something. And they're like, I didn't mean anything offensively. Like, it's not far. And the guy fucking starts undressing me about prejudice and fucking like, "You don't judge every book." "Yeah, I'm serious, bro." And goes off, right? And I'm like, dude, like, holy fuck, man, I'm sorry. And like Haley looks at me and is like, "Oh," like felt bad for me, right? Because I didn't even do anything wrong. And I was like, "Oh, shit, okay, man, sorry. Okay, I'll take the free complimentary shuttle." We get in the fucking van.
Tell me this guy starts trying to scam
First
you.
thing the guy says out of his mouth, yo, what's up? So we got a trip that costs $100 that comes down. I'm like, bro, like the first thing out of your fucking mouth is you trying to sell something to me, and you fucking undress me and call me a fucking prejudiced asshole for not trying to get sold something. And the first thing you say to me when we sit down is you try to sell me $100 trip. Existential crisis, bro. I sat there. I'm like, like light flash. I'm like, wait a sec. So you're trying to tell me I'm an asshole for thinking that you're just trying to sell me something. And the second we start talking, you try to fucking tell me something?
How dare you be so accurate?
Like, bro, fuck me. Fuck that guy.
There's nothing left on this spinning rock that isn't.
Nothing is sacred. Nothing is not trying to sell you something. Bro.
Everything, there's
everything has
left.
been monetized.
Everything is how much money? How much money do we have? We have a lot, actually. Like, we started this business. It's a great business. Works really well. We get a lot of money. We do great. Okay, but how do we get even more money? Like,
bro, even down to the drug dealer level, bro. You go to buy pot in Jamaica. You're like, hey man, I'm looking to buy some pot. How much money do you have? You're like, whoa, no, that's not the starting point of this conversation. Yeah, no. How much you got? Like, no. That's not how this works. What do you have and what are you charging? You don't need to know how much I have.
It's like basic market principles right there. Like, you have a good or a service. Okay, what's the going rate on that? Let's work from there. How much money do you have? Give me that.
Give me all of your money and I will give you this.
What a coincidence. It's your lucky day.
Fucking clowns.
Exactly how much this thing costs. No, everything's like that. Honestly, I was watching because I'm watching the NBA playoffs, right? I'm getting advertising again, which is wonderful. Sports is the only time I interact with advertising.
I got getting sports beefs. Gambling, right?
Well, no, I got 2 beefs right now. All right.
Okay.
My first beef, this is probably a Canadian ad because the app is Canadian. Wealth Simple. So for Americans, it would be like Americans is like Robinhood, basically. Like we have Wealth Simple up here. That's our app. But they have an ad, you've probably seen it, for crypto, where it's all these like cave people who are like it's like the invention of the wheel, right? That there are people who are like, and it's like someone's like, look, it rolls, and there's other people who are like, it's stupid. Like, wow, I don't like that. Progress is dumb. And it's like that's the whole ad, is like the invention of the wheel, and people being like, I don't like it. I prefer to be carried. And then like the whole point is like crypto is the future. Like sometimes you just have to embrace the future. And the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, so you're telling me that you're using the metaphor of the invention of the wheel and simultaneously ignoring the turn of phrase, which is when somebody, quote, would reinvent the wheel, which is the suggestion that whatever you've come up with is redundant and dumb and not valuable whatsoever because it already exists. So the audacity to run a crypto ad about being like, just like the invention of the wheel, and to completely ignore that other phrase about inventing the wheel that applies much more to what we're talking about here drove me up the fucking wall when I saw it.
The irony, bro, you need to write a blog. That's a blog article right there. I
kind of do already.
We do a verbal blog. I know that I feel you though, dude. That's the irony of not being able to look yourself in the mirror while you're making a statement like that.
It's
right?
advertising firms. Like that's like some guy walked into a room at Wealth Simple from Dick Fuck, Advertising Co. And was like, okay, so like the ad opens and it's like caveman days, right? And like people, like someone's in, like got a rock and it rolls and like turns into the wheel, and like wheel is like the crypto. And like not one person in the room was like, yeah, but like what about like the idea of like reinventing the wheel and how this is kind of being seen as a scale? Isn't that kind of like, no, a whole room of people were like, yep, sign us up.
It's because they're fucking planning on the fact that most people aren't smart enough to catch that. They're just dumb. They're just like, they'll take it face value, right?
The other one that I got a gripe with, I watched last night. I was watching the Raptors game yesterday. And there's this SUV commercial. It's like a Kia commercial or something, right? This guy's like driving an SUV on a beach. And he's got like a big rake hanging off the back of his SUV. And he's like combing up all the plastic trash on the beach.
Okay.
And then he like gathers it up at the end. And then he like sits on the beach. And of course, he's like a stunningly good looking white man with blue eyes. Like, yes, I've saved the beach. And a bunch of turtles crawl out of the ocean, start frolicking on the beach. And this is a serious ad. It's a genuine commercial. And it's like implying that like you're caring for the world or something like that. Like the new Kia something, like give a fuck about the planet. I'm like, this is a car commercial for an SUV that runs on oil.
Killing the planet. You're like, yeah. It's like Dempster's just came out with a fucking bread tag that's now cardboard. They're like, yeah, we're saying the entire bread bag is still plastic. Like, what are you talking about here? Like, what are we talking about here?
Still made of oil. Everything is made of oil, apparently. I learned that doing like research and stuff on like the microplastic stuff a few weeks ago. I'm like, oh, so like we live on planet oil, essentially. Yeah. It's all oil. And then like if you like actually look up like solutions to plastic problems, like every article you will find is like written by somebody that if you like Google the person, it's like works for the American oil industry. You're like, God damn it. Flying fuck man. Is this?
They got to find a way to be able to completely recycle it and break it down. But I think you either like, posted something on Twitter or something. They found blood. It's in our blood now.
It's in our bodies. It's in our, we've done stories on the show before. Yeah. Like it's in our blood. It's in our babies. It's in our everything. We are one.
We are plastic. Like, at what point is it too much, right? And the concentration of plastic just kills us.
I think already when it started showing up in our blood, right? And by the way, that study that said that they found it in your blood, they said that study was only, they only examined 15% of people's caloric intake. So they're like, God. The actual numbers are probably ridiculously higher than that. Because it's, we barely looked at 1/5 of people's daily caloric intake. And we found like, you eat a credit card a week of plastic and like you're going to eat like 50 pounds of plastic in your lifetime and it doesn't go anywhere. It just like settles into your lungs and your organs and stuff. So like,
yo, you remember when our science teachers would complain about mercury? They're like, yeah, touch mercury. And I was like,
fuck about mercury.
We're going to be like, I'm going to literally be a bread tag when I'm 80 years old. Be like, you know, apologizing to my grandkids. Like, I'm sorry,
Daddy, why do I feel like I am made of plastic? It's because you are, my boy.
You're like,
you are one.
Dad, why? I want to be a Lego, but I'm only a Mega Block.
Yeah, we're living Roblox people.
Oh, God. Yeah, did you see Kim K fucking found her like a porn video or some shit of herself on Roblox? Dude, so Haley was watching the Kardashians. You mean the porn video? You
mean like the launch of her career porn video?
No, like? So like Haley was watching fucking Keeping Up with the Kardashians or whatever the new one is on Disney.
It's just the Kardashians now.
I think it's, apparently. Oh, is it? Sorry, just the Kardashians. Excuse me.
Jesus, could you get it right? Jesus, come correct.
God. All right, come correct. I'm not at all, I guess, eh? Anyway, so I guess their kid was fucking like playing on Roblox and there was like a game title that came up that was like Kim K's like unreleased sex tape. And it was like a picture of her like crying face and her kid clicked on it, was like laughing and like showed her mom. It was like, what the
you're getting
like
fucked in Roblox.
Yeah, like look, mom. What? So like he can't read, I guess, so I didn't understand that it said like, you know, the sex tape thing or whatever. Well, she fucking freaked and called her lawyers and all this shit.
So your kid can't read, but he's playing Roblox.
Yeah, you heard that correctly, right? Yeah.
Little Jimmy can't spell, but he can crush a couple sessions on Grand Theft Auto 5. You should see him go.
Fuck you, loser! You're a shithead.
All is misspelled. Like,
oh my God!
No, the internet's a mistake.
The internet is a mistake, bro.
Except for us. Except for this podcast. This is the only thing the internet should be used for. Is two white guys talking trash about stupid shit in their lives and abroad. You know.
That's what it's been designed around. You know.
I believe that's the point of the internet.
The tech area in the Bay, you know what I'm saying? Oh.
It's for white guys to express their opinions.
Oh, white guys. Oh, fucking white guys. Well, not anymore. No, so over in the Bay now, obviously, you know, through the pandemic, there's been a shift in people working from home and stuff like that. And the legalization of pot in a lot of different states, especially in California, obviously is going to have have an effect on the workforce, right?
Right.
So the tech world is kind of having an interesting problem right now where a quarter of the workforce is occasionally getting high while working, according to a recent survey. 26% of employees of tech companies based in the Bay Area answered yes to the question, have you used cannabis for medical or non-medical purposes while working in the office or at home in the last 3 months? So 26%. Whoa. So that's 1 in 4 that have admitted to it in the Bay Area. So it's a small, I know, I get it's just in the Bay, but we'll use that as tech right now. Here's a nightmare scenario, right? Manager knows an employee is getting high during cybersecurity training. In fact, they joke about it on a Zoom call. You're like, I'm stoned or whatever. Well, a week later, boom, you got a data breach or something like that. It's going to cost the company millions of dollars. Now, the insurance company is going back through and they call you out. Boom, there's liability there, right? So this calls into question like whether or not you can have employees stoned while they're working. Like you probably don't want to for the employer's liability, right? For sure, right? For sure. But if they start, drug testing employees here now, you're going to lose probably fucking most of your talent because most.
But how do you drug test for weed? Be like, yo, I smoke weed at night. I'm not high during the day.
This is the thing, right? So they have like under the influence tests you can do like similar as driving, right? That you don't have to do.
Shit doesn't work though, right?
Doesn't work, right? Okay. So this is a problem that's kind of facing the tech industry right now. I'm not saying they're leaning either way. This is just a topic of conversation, right? Yeah. So it's like you got 1 in 4 guys smoking weed there now, and weed's legalized now. Like, and people are doing it at work. Like, where does the employer step in? Because like now you put it on them. Think of a manager situation too, right? Like if you're a fucking manager and you see the guy stoned, you got to have that like awkward conversation. But if he's like your best employee, you don't want to fucking say shit either, right? So this comes down to like just don't be a fucking asshole as a manager. Don't say shit. You got a good employee, leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him alone. Also like as an employee, like what are you doing? Like, oh, I get stoned during my workday. Like, dog, you're not like washing dishes. Like you're like a cybersecurity expert. Like, all right. I smoke weed pretty much every day of my life. Okay. I work a job full-time from home that is so brainless and mundane. And I've been doing it for numerous years. It's basically automatic to me. I have not once even thought about getting high during work. Not
I don't.
Fucking once. I can't imagine doing my job stoned. I can't imagine having the brain, even as brainless as it can be, having the brain power to be like no, like, what are y'all doing? Like,
I don't either. It's
maybe I'm getting older. Maybe I'm like now, like I'm in my 30s. I'm like, these young people, but like you're at work, dog. Like save it for off work. Like
even when I was like 17 working in a kitchen, like everybody there smoked and like, or was doing other harder drugs. But I even was still like, nah, man, like I'm good. Like after work, fuck yeah, we'll get lit. But like I can't work in, I don't know, man. I just like can't mix the two.
I just got that mentality of like, you're at work. This is like your job. Like no matter what you do, like don't get fucking stoned. Like if you're getting stoned, if you were drinking at work, they'd be like, you need to go to AA. Right?
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah. So you're smoking weed at work. Like, yeah, you might need to like reevaluate. Like, no, it's cool, bro. It's just weed. Like, no, like you're doing drugs on your job. Like, doesn't matter what it is.
But what if you own the business? Now you're the boss.
Do whatever the fuck you want. Sure. If you're a CEO, you just spend half your life collecting millions of dollars in golfing. Like, it's not like they work. So fuck it. Yeah, email me if you disagree. If somebody hears something, they're like, fuck that, do it again. Like the FNEH podcast at gmail.com. Tell us. You get hired on a job, or someone could be like, no, man, I'm actually like so much better at work when I'm stoned. Like, you're not. First of all, you're a liar. You're absolutely not better at your job when you're stoned. It's like people say about driving. Like, oh, I'm actually a better driver when I'm high. No, you're absolutely not. Okay. Whatever you need to do. Like, I'm a better parent when I'm drunk. You know that? Like,
I'm more empathetic. Yeah, I listen more. I'm more talkative with my children.
I'm much more. I communicate better with my kids when I'm on amphetamines. You know that?
Yeah. I just, Timmy, listen. I know you need $20 tomorrow for your trip, but like, I'm not going to be able to give that to you because Mom had to go out after work with another guy and had to do a little bit more with heroin. But anyway, so I had to get some speed to get myself up. But
it's just, Dad, you've been talking to Dad. It's 6:30 in the morning. Okay, you've been talking all night, and you won't let me leave.
You've been doing clap push-ups in the kitchen and crying. Like, when can I go to bed?
Your childhood, like.
Grandpa's been dead for 20 years. Like, when can I go to sleep?
Speaking of work, from the New York Times, this is as people are going back to offices and in person, right? Something I will be dealing with sooner or later. This is the New York Times advice on how to handle your coworkers' most irritating habits. Okay?
Excellent.
This is real. This is from a reputable journalistic entity giving you advice on how to go back to work. Okay. For the loud talkers, this is how to communicate with your coworkers. I want you to tell me if these sound like the kinds of productive conversations you're going to have. For loud talkers, recommended response from Darian Lewis, co-founder of the Monica Lewis School of Etiquette in Houston. So this is someone, a school of etiquette. Those things exist still. Like, is this where they tell girls and like to roll their shoulders back and shut the fuck up?
They teach you like where the fucking spoons go on the fucking plate,
the salad
and,
fork and that shit.
Which one you eat and throw away? Yeah, fuck that shit.
So for the loud talker, excuse me. It sounds like what you're talking about is really interesting. However, if you could just lower it, I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much. You think that's gonna fly?
No, slap that bitch.
And be like, bitch, shut the fuck. Like,
who the fuck are you?
What you're talking about is very interesting. First of all, why are you listening to my loud conversation? Mind your own fucking business, bitch. I mean, this is not at all how people navigate, how people, okay.
That's not even how people talk, bro. Think about someone just coming up to you randomly and be like, what you're talking about is very interesting. I'd be like, what?
Excuse me? Like,
make a comment on what I'm fucking talking about, you robot fuck. Like, what the kind of response is that?
Now, this is for the
hello,
gossip.
Generic greeting. Like, you know what I mean?
Like an living NPC advice is what this stuff is. This is for the gossipers. This is a recommended response from Dr. Jodie Foster. Oh shit. Where's John Hinckley Jr.? Watch the fuck out, eh? Dr. Jodie Foster, professor of psychiatry at the University of Pennsylvania, for the gossiper in your office. Quote, you know, it's so tempting to hear gossip, but at the end of the day, it always gets me in trouble. So no, thank you. I prefer not to hear it. You know,
that sounds like something like Nancy Reagan would say, and then go throat goat somebody in the next room. You know what I mean?
This is look at that back-to-back callbacks by us, eh? Like professionals. You got Nancy on the mind. I got Jodie Foster on the mind. You know, we're living in the 80s today, apparently. I'm going to watch Taxi Driver after this. You know?
All right, I'll watch Hannibal. Sorry, it's Silence of the Lambs. Excuse me.
What is Nancy Reagan in Silence of the Lambs?
No,
you're
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. Okay,
Jodie Foster.
Jodie Foster. I thought we were saying applicable. Never mind.
Imagine Nancy Reagan in Silence of the Lambs. Hello, Nancy.
Hello, Nancy. Oh fuck, that'd be. There's your content mashup of the week. Now this is for the nosy cubicle mate. This is recommended from Lindsay Pollock, a workplace expert and author. What the fuck kind of you can really title yourself whatever you want.
You can give yourself, dude. When I was a janitor, I was a sanitation engineer. Like you can, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have names, bro.
So what are we? Are we? I mean, I said at the start, we're conversational, psycho-spiritual guidance casters, right?
Go with that. That's pretentious as fuck.
That sounds good. Did I repackage myself nicely for the world? You know,
sonic propagandists is what I would say.
Sonic propagandists. I like it. Now this is for the nosy cubicle mate. This is such a weird worded one too. Like, not sure I feel comfortable talking about that. And then say that phrase over and over the same way every time.
Okay,
so someone's like, hey, what's up? You're like, I don't feel comfortable talking about that. And then I just say it over and over. I don't feel comfortable talking about that. Like,
this is company speak, because here's the thing, that is an actual viable strategy to not talk about gossip and get yourself involved in some shit. But that is a very easy fucking way to get you into the camp of people at work that are like, you're a fucking clown.
Yeah, I don't talk to Matt. He's so person. Weird. Yeah, I tried to tell him a story and he's just like, I don't feel talking about it. Like, fucking jerk off. Fuck like, this bro, guy.
You don't have to, like, if you don't want to contribute and gossip and shit at work, you don't have to. You just can just listen and just not say anything to anybody else about shit.
Yeah.
Just cut it. Just stop there. You can be the end of the train. You don't have to be like,
just don't
chastise other people and make them feel like they're fucking NPCs.
Now we're back to Jodie Foster again.
Fuck company speak, dog.
You don't have to tell me. Jodie Foster's back one more time. Okay, this one's actually probably for me. I think this one's written about me by you. This is for the chronic interrupter.
Oh, perfect.
Right here. I do want to hear all this stuff. It's just that when I lose my train of thought, it takes me a long time to get it back.
Hi there.
77 episodes.
I have a short memory and I am a stupid person. So please don't interrupt me while I'm speaking.
I have undiagnosed ADHD and I have an inability to actually maintain my thoughts longer for a few seconds. So once I have a few thoughts, I just keep talking.
I'm a goldfish. And by the time I reach the end of my sentence, I'll forget what I was talking about. Hey. So might have to remind me, please give me some cues. By the way, my name is Matt. I don't know if I've introduced myself.
Once I start talking, I think of 8 other things to say. And then I realize that in the short window of time I have the opportunity to speak, I need to say them all because I wasn't listened to as a child. And I have to navigate that as an adult now. It's some sort of coping mechanism. Okay.
When I miss my placement in the conversation, I just sit there and think about what I was about to say for like the next 45 seconds. And then once I leave, I go home and I think about the conversations that I had and then imagine them differently as though they worked out better. All right. This is the last one. This is from Monica Lewis, again, from the School of Etiquette. This is for the boring storyteller. You can say, wow, that's interesting. I hate to change the conversation, but I meant to ask you that you're actually a giant, boring fucking idiot and I don't want to listen to it. No, that's not actually. But and then shift into a neutral or safe spot. Be like, steer the conversation into what? Your fucking yarn collection at home? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Your story's
like,
boring. Mine's much more interesting. Let me tell you about the weekend I had with my kids.
Oh, everybody loves the guy at work that has a story that's better than yours. Wow, that's really interesting. Here's why I don't give a fuck, and here's my better story.
That's essentially people who when you talk to them, they only listen to your story to wait for you to be done to tell their story. They're waiting for a break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like, oh, I have an interesting story. It's not. It's not an interesting story.
I'm going to wait till he's done talking and just pretend like I'm listening. Mm-hmm,
Can you imagine try this with anybody listening, try this with a coworker next time they're telling you about some boring shit they did on their weekend with their kids that you don't care about at all. Try saying to them, wow, that's interesting. I hate to change the conversation, but I meant to ask you, and then shift it to something else. Do you have a less boring story you could tell me? I meant to ask you. Jesus Christ.
And say, like, read off a page too. Like, give them the whole, like, I'm reading the company.
Take out the phone and like read the Instagram. Be like, wow. I'm attending the School of Etiquette, actually.
I saw that played out in like a scene in a show yesterday. I was watching the show Severance. You ever heard of it?
No. Oh, it's like the sort of Succession-ish kind of thing, like business.
No, so no. So the idea of it's an Apple TV show, and the idea of the show is that there's a world where if you work for this company, I'm only a couple episodes in, they sever your working mind and your home mind. Okay. So like you go through this process where they do an operation on your brain where like
a lobotomy.
Basically it's like this upper lobotomy shit or whatever. So anyway, your working thoughts become its own person. Like you can't have any sort of outside interaction with your thoughts. This is like the
Jeff Bezos probably jerks off to this show.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
right?
This is so ideal. Oh, fuck yeah.
So I'm not far enough in the show yet that it's like revealed any of the technology stuff, but I guess the idea is that like you're one person, but you like drive into work and basically like they do something to you. There's like a defogging period.
Manchurian candidate shit, like the tone turns you into a drone for the office.
Yeah, and like you can like never leave kind of thing, right? And then outside of work, you just have your outside of work personality. You don't have any work memory things, right? But one of the intro scenes is him fucking reading because he's like introducing a new person who's just like taken this severance package and like has joined and like is waking up essentially like in the Matrix. And he's like reading them the company policy of like, hello, like welcome to like your work severance. It fucking blew my mind, man. Cause like the idea of like not being able to communicate and having two separate versions of yourself is like terrifying, bro.
That is the dystopian. I mean, that's the ideal, right? They're sick of these people showing up to work and smoking weed and telling boring stories. Wouldn't it be better if they just showed up and did their fucking jobs and
didn't say anything to you? Just like, I'm the work guy.
Like, honey, you go every day, you leave for like 8 hours, you commute, you come back. You don't seem to be making any money. Like, I don't remember. I don't know how much I make. They never tell. I can't remember when I get home. I just do stuff and then I come back here every day. It's fucked.
That's literally it, man. It's a crazy concept. I'm gonna keep watching that. I'm gonna get back to you on that because it seems like a pretty interesting concept.
That kind of feels like the kind of idea we'd come up with here on this show, and then have to worry that someone's gonna hear it and be like, "Yeah."
The main actor is the guy from Step Brothers, the brother, the brother-in-law, the like asshole one that has cash.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember.
Yeah, like with the short black hair. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Anyway,
that narrows it down. He's a white guy with short black hair. You know what I'm talking about, right?
He's an asshole.
Oh, yeah, of course, he's an asshole. That's only 3.5 billion people to narrow down from.
Narrow it down.
Sweet.
All right. So keeping in the realm of employers and weird shit here. Check this one out. Days before his birthday in August 2019, an employee at a Kentucky-based laboratory asked his office manager to not arrange a celebration for his birthday.
Oh, I heard about this. Yeah.
It wasn't the fear of getting older, but rather an anxiety disorder that can spur, quote, panic attacks in stressful situations. So the guy went to work and was like, listen, I can have panic attacks. Do not throw me a birthday party, please.
Yeah.
The employee did not want a celebration because, quote, being the center of attention can trigger his disorder. Now, when the company threw him a lunchtime party against his wishes, it triggered a panic attack, and he left abruptly to spend the rest of his break in his car. So the guy had a fucking panic attack at work, right?
Yeah.
4 days later, after his office managers confronted him about his reaction to the party, he was fired from the Northern Kentucky company. Yeah. So diving a little more detail here. When the employee left the office on August 7 to spend the remainder of his birthday lunch in his car, he texted his office manager asking why she failed to, quote, accommodate his request to forego the standard birthday celebration. His attorney states, sounds like legalese. Of course, right?
Sure. Yeah, of course.
Dress it up. But a day later, after he arrived for work, he was called into a meeting with two superiors who confronted and criticized him for how he reacted to the birthday party he did not want, which caused him to have another panic attack. He was sent home from work for the next 2 days and later apologized for having the panic attacks. On August 11th, he received an email stating he was being terminated because of the events of the previous week. Well, my guy just got netted $450,000 after a successful lawsuit against his company.
Good.
He won his fucking case, bro.
What is that conversation like? Like, John, we got you a cake. We put we had Heather from the social committee put streamers up all over the fucking lunchroom, and you show up, and what an ungrateful prick you are to not stay there, even though you told us not to do this because you have an anxiety disorder. Like, yeah, like,
bro. And then they fired the guy. They fucking fired the dude.
This is why employers just need to get it in their heads. Nobody wants to work in your office. Nobody wants to work in your office at all.
Nobody gives a fuck, dude.
Nobody wants to snort. No, I don't want to hear boring ass stories from people and get caught because all I want to do is fill up my water bottle. I want to hear those stories. I don't want to have to go, wow, that's interesting. I don't want to have to go to birthday parties. I don't want people to know I was ever born or what day I was born on. It's not a thing. It's just, I'd rather be at home in my underwear, eating Doritos and doing my job.
Don't ever work for a tech company, bro. That is the complete opposite. Everything is a day there.
I know you got to have you sit on a yoga ball in a communal setting and like fucking
talk about 2 seconds. Talk about the consistency of your shit and if you're having a fiber in your diet.
Are you gluten free? Well, yes, actually I am, but not by choice.
Not by choice, by celiac disease.
I was forced to by medical.
I see you read a blog and decided that you were gluten free. I see.
I see you are by. Oh, are you gluten by choice or gluten by necessity?
By choice.
Fuck.
Are you pro-choice gluten?
That's another story about like why offices fucking blow. Absolutely blow. I was reading. I found this. Let me ask you first. How do you feel about ritual sacrifice?
I love them. I'm all for them. Depends how old the kid is. The younger, the better.
Good. Because in a new paper published in the Journal of Archaeological Science, researchers conducted toxicology tests on a hair strand and fingernails off 2 children in the Amparo Mountain in southern Peru. The results yielded that the children were drugged during their sacrificial rites. The researchers believe that the children's remains date back 500 years ago during the Inca Empire. And the test revealed the children were intoxicated with ayahuasca and cocaine by chewing cocoa 500 years ago.
So I don't have to worry about my alibi. Okay, good.
They're not going to find out, though. They're not going to find those kids. Don't worry.
So ayahuasca and coca leaves, eh?
The researchers believe that the purpose of these plants is to help the Inca children divert their attention and physical senses from the intense pain experienced during sacrificial rites. Of course. Oh, Daddy, where are we going today? Oh, nothing, son. Just chew on these leaves. It's going to be where it's a celebration. Oh, what do we say?
God today.
It's Bill's birthday.
It's Bill's birthday.
Look up at the stars there for a second.
Drink this. Yo, dude, like human civilization and history, bro. There's some fucking crazy shit, dude. The Inca and like, I don't know. I don't want to be, incorrect about this. I don't know if it's Inca.
I think after 500 years, people are like, that's culturally insensitive. Like, no, it's not, because they were giving kids children were being given cocaine and ayahuasca and then being disemboweled like on an altar while people were singing birthday songs and shit.
Yeah,
like,
I'm not all right with that. Giving up to the sun god. You know, like, please rain more this season. Slice his organs out.
Like, geez, it's been really dry. Like, which one of you's got a kid? Huh? Oh, you got 3? You don't need 3. Come on, bring them up. Make them drink this. Here, drink this.
How sharp were knives in the 1500s? I guess, when were like knights shit? They had some sharp ass swords. Yeah, about then, right? Like the Renaissance. All right. So the Mayans probably
are you
hammered
implying that the Incas didn't know how to sharpen knives?
No, I'm wondering how sharp they were. I don't know how long it was ago.
I think they were pretty sharp. They had whetstones back then, I believe.
That's what I'm thinking. Knew how to
do that.
I'm just thinking out loud, man. All right. I'm not saying
I was just imagining your perception of history was like, you know why the Incans lost their empire? Those dull knives.
Yeah, they just like
sharpen knives,
blunt stabbing each other.
The Spanish come across the sea and they're like, ding, ding, ding.
How shit would that be if you're doing like a child sacrifice and you're fucking like, stone knives too blunt? You're like, fuck, damn it.
You're using like one of those like pate knives, those like rounded, like flat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Kids just sitting there like tripping out on ayahuasca. You're like, fuck, man. The whole village is watching you, like blah blah, blah. Drinking blood. Like, hurry up.
I'm thirsty for blood. Get it going already. Don't you hate when they can't cut his throat quickly enough and like we all have to wait for our weekly sacrificial blood bowl?
It's fucking crazy, man.
I
can't believe humans used to do that shit, dude.
Just eat this and look over there for a second. Just like creeping up behind, like, oh my God. Yeah, it's a little extreme.
Do you think you'd fit in the Mayans, yo? You think you could deal with the whole face paint life?
Do I think I'd fit in the Mayans? They'd be playing soccer with my head.
Oh, for sure, dude. Your guts would be like their fucking, their accessories.
They'd use my guts as streamers for the next workplace birthday party.
Sausage tubing. They would pack their own meat into your intestines and sausage tubing. Yeah, I don't think you'd fit in. They'd be like,
we've come a long way, baby. We've come a long way. I've seen sacrifice children on the altars anymore.
I've seen enough of those Indiana Jones movies. I know how it would go.
Yeah. Speaking of movies, you've seen ads for this. What do you think of this fucking Nicolas Cage thing?
What Nicolas Cage thing?
This movie that he's got that's out right now.
The one where he's like playing himself or something?
Yeah, he's the unbearable fucking massive talent, whatever the fuck it is.
See, like, I've only heard that he's playing himself or something, but that's all I know.
Fuck.
So
what is this?
He's playing a caricature of himself?
No, he plays himself. It's a movie where he is Nicolas Cage, who has been like flown to some like Colombian drug lord's villa, who's like his biggest fan. And he like finds out, and then it's like an action movie where he's Nicolas Cage with a drug lord, like doing action stuff. And it's all like literally like he might as well, he's like eating the scenery in every scene. Just like, yeah, I'm Nick Cage, baby. Woo! And it's like, how out of ideas? I mean, even when there's an original idea, it's the worst idea ever.
So it's just an hour and a half, Nick Cage just stroking himself and like what the internet is viewing of him. That's incredible. I need to look into this.
Yeah. Nicolas Cage is 60 years old almost.
I'll pirate it. I won't pay money for it, but I would watch it.
I don't recommend anybody pirate. Yet another reason, like if you saw this movie and you liked it, you can email me, but I won't respond. I will
Have you seen it, or you've just seen the trailers?
I've seen look, trailers are a bad judgment of anything, because if you ever watch like a trailer for something you've seen and liked and it's like, it's really good.
Yeah.
And then you watch the trailer and you're like, good Lord, awful. I can't imagine that this is going to drastically surprise me. Like,
the worst is the opposite though, where you think the trailer is going to be good. You're like, this movie's going to be amazing. And it's dog shit. Or like they give you the whole plot in the fucking trailer, bro. See some trailers like that where it's like, I'm going to give you the plot point from like an hour and 25 minutes into the movie in the trailer. You're like, what the fuck, man?
3-minute trailer for a movie. And you're like, wow, I just saw the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like, thanks,
man.
Awesome.
Like, fuck, I hate that shit, bro. I like would avoid trailers because of that.
That's why I try not to watch them. But I mean, it's like, a movie like that, like a Nicolas Cage Hollywood blockbuster.
That's
like,
different.
It's going to be on every advertising break in every program you watch.
What's it called again?
It's called Unbearable Weight or something like that.
Okay.
It's got a long name that's been like shortened down, kind of. Like the title is awful. The premise is atrocious. And like how you could not sell me on that idea. Like, what's it about? It's about Nicolas Cage playing Nicolas Cage, where he becomes like an action
Nicolas
hero.
Cage.
Like, and he just chews the scenery about his own career. Like, it's the most meta idea.
So it's just
possible.
2 hours of meta.
Yeah.
It's fucking awful.
Coming to
fucking
Facebook.
awful, man. That's where we're at these days, eh? Like, here's the thing, that there's nothing wrong with that, but why is this like $100 million project?
I disagree that there's nothing wrong with that. I disagree with you, Matt. I disagree. I think there's a lot wrong with that idea. I think of all the things you could have paid $100 million to make, you could do much better. Is he big in like China or something? Is it like, are they going to be like, well, it'll make $50 million here, but I'll make $9 quadrillion in China because they
isn't big in China other than like Facebook and that kind of shit. Everything's popular in China, bro. There's just so many people.
It's all they make movies for now.
Yeah.
That's why Sonic the Hedgehog is like, they actually made a sequel to that awful movie.
Because of China?
Yeah, of course, because they're like 100 million people will see it there.
Not because of Jim Carrey's ability to play Dr. Robotnik?
I have a feeling that didn't have a lot to do with it.
What a shame.
Maybe it did.
What a shame. I can see China pumping that up, though. Fuck China. Oh, I can't say that. We're going to be pulled off everything.
Wow, there we go. Well, hey, we still got India.
Yes. But they're like apparently hanging out with Russia. So like the media tells me I'm not allowed to like them now. I don't know.
This is media, man. You want to be on Channel 5? The media. Every person he talks to. Again, every person he talks to.
Deep state.
The fucking media. Hillary Clinton did like, sir, we're at a furry convention. Why are you talking about Hillary Clinton? Like,
everything, bro. Everything.
Amazing. It's so
like I said, like that one comment said, bro, if Andrew Callahan shows up at an event you're at wearing his suit and costume, you should be ashamed.
Yeah, like suddenly I have to reevaluate my life.
Why am I here? Who am I?
No, it just means you get to act like a douche and you get famous. You'll go viral.
That's the thing. You have to like feather the line between like I want to get on camera and I want to also be like, hey, I know who you are. But if you say I know who you are, you probably won't make his videos.
No, of course not.
He doesn't want you.
All right, what do you got? One more? We got a little time for a little bit more?
Yeah, we'll just make it real quick.
I don't even know what time we started. I actually can't remember.
1:45. So we're laughing. You can edit this little part out here. You're also, just because I'm saying this, I'm going to force you to edit it too. I've snivelled a couple times in the mic, bro. I turned it off. That's a bunch of them. I'm sorry, bro.
I've learned, but this is the one time I'm allowing it because
I'm sorry. Like I actually started like turning the mic off when I did it a few times.
Hey, you know what? That's what this little switchy thing is all for. It's pretty useful. Yeah.
I didn't realize till about halfway through. I'm like, I'm sorry, dude.
No. I crack jokes at you to make you feel bad, but in reality, it's like the easiest edit imaginable. It's literally like a highlight and a button, and it goes away. Don't sweat it, brother. Don't sweat it. Sweat the COVID, not the editing. That's what I'm here for.
Sounds good.
Take it off your plate.
Sounds good. All right, last one here. Diversity campaigners accused a primary school of racism for hiring a DJ who wore blackface. Okay, so Stuart Roden and Jill Lassen complained after seeing images of Kim Coco Hunter at a 1970s themed parent-teacher association event at a primary school. Now, the pair are members of the school district equity and inclusion committee at the elementary school. So they've accused someone of wearing blackface at an event at their school.
Okay.
Well, the PTA president has responded and wrote to them to say the man was, in fact, a black man.
Man, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Blackface, bro. Quote, it is insulting that you feel myself or the PTA condone racist behavior or encourage it by posting on social media. So they had a picture of a fucking black guy at an event, and parents at the fucking PTA thing messaged in and said, this guy's wearing blackface. Something needs to be done. Bro, we're living in a simulation. I swear to fucking God.
I think we've lost the narrative completely. I mean, maybe it's like the 20 hours of Channel 5 I've watched in the last week, but there are a lot of people who are passing off as functioning adult humans who are simply not qualified to take those categories. Like,
bro, we are entering into a generation soon where like lead paint parents will be giving birth to like
plastic babies,
blood, plastic blood babies. Like
parents, plastic babies.
It's not. We're not going to a good place, man. Where the media is constantly lying and shit to us. It feels like it feels so fucking like bullshit. So it goes dystopian, yada yada. But
that's basically it. That's the thing I think is hilarious about every time I hear like was watching Channel 5 stuff, and people are like the media. They're like it's like he goes to like the QAnon thing, and they're like the media is always lying to you. I listened to this guy with a YouTube channel. I'm like, people are just lying to you too, you idiots. Like, it's just what kind of lies do you want? Like, what lies make you happy and comfortable?
What lies are you comfortable with taking in and just deflecting from actually doing your homework and seeing if any of it's real?
Oh, not to mention that, like, if you do your own homework, half of that shit, like most people look up one thing. They're like, I did my own research. Or they like look up one thing and it's like written by an institute that's like secretly backdoor funded by the oil industry. And you're like, ow,
they all are. They all fucking are.
20 reasons why plastic pollution is actually really good for the environment. Like, I'll bite. Let's see what you got. Like, plastic's amazing. Like, okay, who wrote this? Oh, it's somebody who works for
20 reasons why Tupperware is making a comeback.
Yeah, it's literally like, who wrote this article? Like, oh, it's somebody whose like funding comes from like Chevron and Exxon and Shell Oil Company. Like, oh, what a coincidence.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, God. But you know who never will ever lie?
Who's that?
Us.
Me? You? I tell the truth.
We do nothing. This is your psychosomatic, spiritually guided truth cast. 77 episodes of raw, unfiltered, unbiased, unmainstream media truth, bro.
Rebel News. No, don't shut up. I'm joking.
Whoa.
Fuck Rebel News.
That's what I mean, though, right? People are like, the fucking liberal CBC. I listen to Rebel News. I'm like, you can imagine that you're getting like anything different from anywhere else. It's amazing. But we want to thank you, whatever your choice of news is, for joining us for the 77th episode. This is the Fucking A comedy podcast, organic, homegrown, comedic content for your ears and your souls.
Let it vibrate like at that fucking karaoke place I went to.
Yeah. I really am disappointed you didn't get up on stage and sing a little something yourself. We want to thank you for listening. If you want to support the show, all we ask is that you tell a friend about it, share it on your social media, send a link, anonymously form a mailing list, and just drop podcast links just to Fucking A and be like, guys, trust me. You want to hear this. This is the truth. This is the real unfiltered truth. Share the love. Matt, do you have a selling point to get people on board? I mean,
Yeah. Learn. Okay. Final point here. Just to tell you off. Learn how to do little shit in your life that'll benefit you. For example, dumb stuff like sewing. My mom stayed at my place while I was gone. And she was like, hey, do you guys have a sewing needle? I'm like, no, I don't. Come back. She got one from her own house. She actually fixed all like the dog toys that were broken. I was like, oh shit, look at that. Repurpose this shit. And I kind of realized, I'm like, why the fuck don't I know how to do this? Such a simple thing, how to sew and fix little stupid shit, but like, I should learn how to do that. So my parting words for you all, everybody, is like, maybe find something that you can improve on, and really small. They'll take you a little bit to learn it, do it, grow.
Yeah. Start podcasting in your late 20s and have absolutely no reaping rewards over numerous years. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on whatever app you're currently listening on. And if you like it in sort of audio visual format, Fucking A is on YouTube with occasional little segments and stuff. We're putting up little clips. I'm doing a little extra work. There's another sniff from Matt as we head out.
I'm so sorry.
Leave the show a rating or a review if you're really, really enthusiastic. Tell us what you really think. Email the podcast, fnehpodcast@gmail.com, fnehpodcast@gmail.com. And give us your critical feedback. I'm going to send it directly to Matt because he's mostly responsible for everything that's wrong. And if you want to follow us on the socials or hit us up there, Twitter and Instagram at Fucking A Podcast, FUCKINEH Podcast. Thank you.
Peace out, peoples.
I appreciate you guys coming back. You know, we're back after a break, and we're back every week for you again.
We'll see you next week, guys. Take it easy.
We missed you. Come back for episode 78. Say bye. Everybody, bye.
I'm so fucking sick.
Oh.